All right, Rich, this week we have a special Cayenne here. It's courtesy of my friend Spencer. This is a beautiful, lifted, fully kitted, ready for off-road Cayenne.
Now, I don't know who Spencer is, but I've seen this car before.
Okay, you've seen him rolling around?
I've seen this on the road because you can't really
How does he drive?
Horrible, because he's a rally driver. He's all over the round. It's a John Player special.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this car because you have a Cayenne as well.
Yeah, and it's completely different than this. Mine is 100% for the city. It's actually e-hybrid, so it's completely different than this car. This one has the legendary VR6 motor, so it's basically a Volkswagen take on a 6-cylinder. Super reliable, a lot of low-end torque.
Oh, wow.
Really good for off-road and really stout, actually. So obviously in the bush, you don't want to have any trouble, so reliability, these are fantastic.
So let's go over some of the details of this car that make this car unique from a normal Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah, definitely. So right off the bat, we can see how tall it is. Dean for scale. I'm about 5'10", and this thing towers right above me.
Okay, you're not 5'10", so it's not lying.
I'm 5'10". How tall do you think I am?
You're just lying. People lie about their height.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
just kidding.
But about 7 feet tall, I would say. That's what Spencer said. And fully wrapped out, and it has a black on tan interior.
Now, one thing I noticed right away are these big, awesome wheels.
Yeah.
Tell me about the rims and
Spencer, what are these 33s? All right, so we got 33-inch Goodyear Wranglers here. And I actually go off-roading with Spencer, and this car is so capable. You can try to get it stuck and it won't take it. It'll go right through.
One thing I love about this car before we even dig into it is I love the color scheme because it matches our color scheme.
It does match Vancouver house sales.
And that's probably the reason why we chose this car as well. But let's talk about the accessories on here because this is really cool. Like, why don't we go over, because this looks custom to me, this rack up here.
Yeah, so I don't even know, what brand is the rack? Sherpa. Okay. So Sherpa rack up top, it's really form-fitting to the shape of the body. So definitely designed for this generation Cayenne. And he's got all his bug out packs up there ready to go at a moment's notice.
Hey, Spencer, is this a rifle case? Oh, yes. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was like, that looks like a rifle Pelican up there. And then he has the, the mud, get out of the snow.
The traction boards.
Traction boards,
and then the awning.
The awning, right?
Yeah, very
Do you
similar
camp in this? I have. Okay. Now tell me about what else is special about this vehicle. I've noticed when I was coming in, the exhaust on it.
Yeah, so this is one of Spencer's favorite things about this car. As you can see in the back here, it's got a chopped rear bumper, and that's for clearance, but also for style. And right here we have a custom exhaust. Mufflers are a bit exposed, and when else can you see the style of a muffler as the car's going down the road?
It's so clean.
Yeah, looks amazing.
How is well, tell me about Porsche because I don't know too much about the rally stuff. Like, how is the vehicle like overall in off-roading, and like what kind of off-roading?
So I know for these Cayennes, they have a few options that do come with locking differentials, which allow for more traction and a little bit more control off-road. I don't know exactly if this one has it or not, but Cayennes in general are actually really, really capable off-road. People just don't know it. For example, the G-Class is well known to be good off-road just because it was originally designed for that. Whereas the Cayenne was more so aimed at the city dweller, but turns out they're great for off-road. Because
I would never expect this as a off-road rally vehicle, right? Like obviously I see the typical Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
I like that as well, but I'm more of a pavement princess myself.
And honestly, if you ask me, I'd rather own one of these than a 911 Dakar. Because I'd be scared to take that anywhere. Right, and those are pushing like I'd say about $300,000 or so.
Yeah. How's the interior on the inside? It's Porsche, so obviously quality interior.
Regular, Porsche affair. Beautiful tan interior in this one.
Ooh, I like this coffee cream interior.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Modern touch unit, so it's up to 2025 standards.
So this looks really like minimalistic, and it kind of looks really special.
Yeah, so super form-fitting to the car. And this is actually manufactured by Trick Factory Customs out in Coquitlam. And it's all custom made for this car.
Now, this skid plate here, is it because when you guys go off-roading, like rocks and stuff?
Yeah, so you're going to want to bounce off anything that could either damage your car or hold you up. So for a skid plate like this, that's totally smooth, you can see.
Yeah.
Number one, solid. And number two, completely smooth. You're going to slide right over those rocks, right over those logs.
Maybe I should go off-roading with you guys
Hey,
sometime.
bring your Tesla Model Y.
Yeah, no. I'd run out of juice.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna jump right into the podcast and let us know what you think about this Porsche Cayenne.
John Player Special.
Welcome to this week's episode of Curb Appeal. Today we have a very special Cayenne, as we just saw in the beginning of the video, and today we're going to be talking a little bit again about some entrepreneurial stories, some real estate stories, and some tips too in the market.
Yeah, episode 2. We're going hot and fast here, trying to get the momentum going
and
here.
Thanks so much for the viewership that we had. I think in the first day or so, we actually had like about 300 views.
Yeah, that's
which I'm really surprised about.
Really?
So you know, thanks for everybody who's tuning in. And don't forget to leave your comments down too. You know, what cars do you want to see? What topics do you want us to talk about? We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, that's great. So, Curb Appeal, second episode.
Yeah.
What are we going to chat about today?
So we'll kick it off. You spent so many years working as a gym owner and obviously now in real estate. So what are some things that, you know, entrepreneurs always have mentors throughout the years? What are some things that mentors or people around you didn't tell you and you had to find out yourself in the first 3 years of business?
I think one of the biggest things about my first 3 years of business was, you know, you try to come up with a plan and the best plan of action, but as soon as you start implementing it or doing what you're trying to do, things pop up. So you really have to like reiterate and focus and change some plans. Nothing ever goes according to your plans. So that's the first thing that I really learned. Because we had a business plan. We're like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then, you know, once you start doing it, things change, right? The dynamics change. So you got to go on the fly and try to solve these problems.
Yeah.
And then your business just morphs into something different, but still what you want it to. But it's just a different path you think you would take. That's for sure.
Yeah. And that's funny you mentioned that because it's a lot like that that quote from Mike Tyson, you know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly. Right? That is 100% true.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to have a plan though, right? That's
For
the thing. You have to have a plan even though it doesn't go according to it, but it gives you a trajectory and a path to go where you want to go.
Great. And I think another thing too, speaking on also starting businesses, whether it's a gym, whether it's a retail store, whether it's a e-commerce brand now, right? Along the way, there's always going to be tips, tricks, and people you meet. What is an advice that you received, you know, in early days that you hold true till today?
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned, and I tell people whenever people ask me about, you know, trying to start their own business or something like that, is that you have to be willing to hustle and grind. And because the thing is, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people want to open gyms or do other businesses, and that's awesome. But a lot of people don't want to put in the work it takes. It's not always like, you know, you see on Instagram or social media, it's like you're always getting the popping bottles or having a good time, right? You know what I mean?
Driving the nice car.
But, you know, that is a glimpse of what happens, but that's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of the work and the hard work that no one sees. That's really the effort. Because what I notice is when people always go, oh man, you're so successful so quick or whatever. But they actually don't see the years or the months that you've been planning or working to get to that point, right? They only see that point when you make it or do something, right?
Yeah. And speaking on for my own experience, just with, you know, the few years in real estate, I didn't understand how many different facets there are, how many things we need to specialize in or be good at, right? So for example, the personal branding, the personal marketing, online marketing now, right? On top of the factual information that we need to know about the property or about real estate law and things like that. You know, those are the things that they tell you on the exam, like, hey, you have to know this, you have to know that. And there are things in that book that do translate to real life, but how about all the other things that are more so about running a business, not just about selling real estate?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's says true for a lot of things that
Any
people
industry,
courses. It's like you take the course or you go to school and they teach you the academics, right? But they don't teach you how to actually do the work, right?
100%. And I think the biggest thing that I struggle with, and I still, you know, do my best to manage it, is the time management. Just because we have so much going on, right? Like the social media posts that need to go up because you have to be consistent, right? The following up with different clientele, even if they're super cold leads. And then also managing the existing clientele, whether they're buyers or current listings or sellers, managing those showings on top of it all, right? So I think the time management is something that's huge.
Yeah, I think one of the big things for people that are wanting to get into either real estate or just a business is you have to kind of figure out your capacity, and everyone's capacity is different. And then learning how to either not do as much or be more efficient or delegate, right? Here's a good example. Me and you teamed up. We've known each other for years. We've always kind of worked around each other, helped each other out. But then the time came where now we're Vancouver House Sales working together, trying to build an awesome team because we need help and to take load off each other.
100%.
Not only, like I said, we're busy, but I just had a baby. There's other things going on. People have life things, but also teaming up with your skills, right? Like you're better at a lot of things that I'm not.
Exactly.
There's and probably vice versa, right?
That you've experienced that I haven't yet, right? And then, on top of a business partner, I feel like I have a great mentor too, right? Like just being about the dynamic between you and me. And I would say that that's definitely the biggest thing when it comes to either real estate or just entrepreneurship. You got to take the tips along the way, and you got to be open and receptive to advice and everything like that. But obviously that goes into learning. When you were back in school, how good of a student were you, or how poor of a student were you?
The rating will show up here on the YouTube. I wasn't that good of a student. I would say I was like C+ student.
A C+ student, and that's throughout high school, throughout.
I was pretty good, like kind of grade 8, grade 9, and then just started falling. Not because like it was hard. I was never good at school. And you know what? Like the real estate exam was a great example. Like that was probably one of the hardest exams I did.
Okay.
In terms of just doing everything and on my own and all that. But once I passed the exam, I knew I could do the job, right? And learn on the job.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm definitely more accelerating doing it.
Yeah.
But school stuff, it's hard for me. Like I really have to like study and pay attention. What about you?
For sure. In my early days of high school, I was actually a pretty good student. And then as it went by, grade 9, grade 10, or grade 8, 9, whatever, honor roll, all that stuff. Grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, I had to switch classes. I didn't even know what I was doing. I had to retake classes, and that was on top of just getting in trouble in school a lot. I think I got suspended in high school minimum 9 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
I was never a bad kid. I would say I turned bad after I graduated.
Okay. Yeah.
I partied and whatever when you're in high school, but I wasn't I didn't skip class all the time. I didn't get suspended. I cut class here and there, right? But I wasn't a bad kid. I just school wasn't I wasn't good at school.
Yeah. I don't think I was a bad kid either. I think they're just too strict on me.
No, you were a bad kid. I think you were bad.
I mean, I wasn't doing illegal things or anything like that. It's just a lot of it. And I think, again, there's the strictness of the school. A lot of it was fighting. And then they told me in grade 10, end of grade 10 or something like that, if I get suspended any time from grade 10 to grade 12, they're not going to sit down with my parents anymore. They're not going to discuss with us and depend on how long the suspension is. I'm just out. So from grade 10 to grade 12, I just had to be really on my best behavior or just not get caught.
Don't get
doing
caught.
Bad things.
Don't get caught.
But anyway, to flip on that, I was always when I went into high school, from high school to college, I was thinking, okay, so what's the goal? I plan to get good grades, to go to this good school, and I get a good school to get a good job, and then you get a good job to what? Make good money, right? And my thinking at that time was why don't I just circumvent all of that? Right? How do I circumvent all of that? Why do I need to go down this path because I'm so bad at it? And it wasn't that I was bad at it. I just wouldn't apply myself because it wasn't interesting enough for me.
See, for me, when I have a goal, I'm good at it. So when I was in high school, when I was young, I was like, you know what? I really want to be a doctor. But then I realized really quick that I wasn't that smart. My friends said I probably could do it. I don't think so. But then it just fell to me in high school. I'm like, you know what? I like helping people. And that's, like I said, everything that I do in life. I really have that core of wanting to help people. And then that's when I was like, hey, you know what? I want to be a firefighter.
Oh.
So that's how I started that journey. So right away, as soon as I graduated, I was working towards that.
Yeah.
And then I got on really young, right? I got on at 22. So that was like set my path. I was focused on doing that. That was all like working out, going to school, like doing courses. Like, so I'm good when I have a goal.
Yes.
And that's why I think I always have a goal. And then, like I said, and then my passion for working out with my business partner and one of my best friends. And then that's when we decided to open a gym because, you know, which guy doesn't want to open up a gym, right?
Sure.
You know, if you love cars, like why don't you want to open up a car shop, right? It's the same kind of thing, right?
Exactly. That may be an eventual path I may go down.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that's what really sparked my entrepreneurial stuff again. Because remember in our first podcast, I talked about how we were always kind of like that, but I was never told to push that forward.
Yeah.
Once I decided to jump in with the gym, that's when it really sparked everything again. That's when I really started getting everything going again, right? And then onto the real estate thing as well.
So when you went to schooling right out of high school, did you try to do like sciences and things like that?
Yeah, I went to college. I took general studies because you needed some credits.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So yeah. So that's how it came together.
Small world. Now speaking a bit about your firefighting background, is there a story that stands out to you over the years of, you know, being a first responder?
One thing about being a first responder is this. People are stupid. You see a lot of things. Nothing surprises me.
Okay.
So anything that you think can happen can probably happen.
And it's probably happened.
That's why first responders have jobs.
Yeah. That's
But it's a very rewarding career. Every day is different. So, you know, you go to work, it's never the same, right? If you like to stay physically active, you like, you know, camaraderie, you know, it's a great career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to touch a bit now, back on real estate for a little bit. In the last couple of weeks, me personally, I've seen a big increase in open house traffic, in showings, even for my private viewings. When I book in for a private viewing with some clients, you know, in this current market, I don't expect there to be other groups. You know, not that that's a problem at all. It's actually great, right? But just the other week, we booked in for a private tour at a detached home in Richmond. And there were 4 other groups that the listing agent had booked at the exact same time, right? And that's some activity even for my own listings that I haven't seen for months. How do you feel like the activities picked up in the last week or week and a half?
Yep, I definitely agree with you on that. A couple of the properties that I had listed for a little while, a few months, got accepted offers on. So definitely traffic is picking up in terms of people wanting to come out there. I think the rate cuts, at least in some parts, spurred people open to looking. I don't know if everyone's buying at the moment, but I still think people are definitely intrigued of what's going on and seeing a lot of deals out there. So probably just dipping their toe in the water, trying to see what's out there. So hopefully, you know, when the time comes and they're prepared, then they can pull the trigger. But yeah, definitely picking up.
Yeah. So the other thing too about us teaming up when it comes to real estate was that we wanted to be able to serve more people and more people better. And part of that was creating events and putting on, you know, basically an open door for people to come through and learn about real estate and interact with us and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
So right, because of that, we are actually hosting our first Buyer's Blueprint workshop November 30th in Burnaby in person.
Yeah.
We'll probably record it as well for a workshop online.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, we want to share the information and what's happening in the market right now, because I think in the next 6 to 12 months, there is definitely a good window. Because, you know, when people are fearful, that's when you should get in. I think that's what Warren Buffett said, right? Something
definitely, yeah.
in that line. So that is very true. So I think most importantly for most people is understanding what is going on, what to look out for, and how to set yourself up to get a deal. So that's basically this workshop that we're trying to set up coming up at the end of the month here. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the big thing that we always talk about is that we're never trying to sell you. We're never trying to sell people on doing this or doing that. It's more about providing all the information so they're ready to pull the trigger. And information sessions like that, I think, you know, you can find any amount of people who are willing to give you advice, whether you to buy or sell. But we really want to kind of foster a community where that information is not only accessible, but also, how do I say, understandable to the everyday person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I think with us, we love things in person.
Yeah.
You know, we're so digital now. We actually like seeing people's faces, chatting with them, connecting, because this is the part of the job that we love.
Yeah, we actually, that's what we wanted to highlight on, because number one, we know we're good at, you know, interacting with people, but it's the most enjoyable thing for both of us. And also to mention about a little bit about our event Aaron Chan from AHC Law is also going to be there. So he's going to be answering all of your law questions. You know, usually if you call up a lawyer, what are they going to tell you? Hey, what's your email? I'm going to invoice you for how long you call me for.
That's right.
Know?
That's right.
So, you know, pester him, do what you want. He's going to be there to help the event go along and also talk about his specialty, which is wills and estates and real estate law. So that's a fantastic edition that we have coming up on November 30th at 3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m. and we'll share the link and have more information forthcoming. Spots are limited because we're actually doing it at Benzo Cafe, right? Which they specialize in a Mercedes-Benz
themed
cafe. So there'll be cool cars and stuff there as well, and they do a lot of events. So we're excited to have that space to do the event as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then since, you know, that's pretty car themed, that event, let's go back to the cars topic. If you had a top 3, you know, car garage, you can only pick 3 cars. What would you have in your garage? Maybe a baby carrier, maybe a sports car, maybe a weekend car. What is your top 3?
I want a Porsche 911 since we're on the Porsche.
Okay.
I do want a Porsche. I've always wanted a Porsche. Probably I need some kind of SUV for the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, maybe a Range, right? Who knows?
Okay,
right?
okay.
And you know what? I used to ride a motorcycle.
Yes.
So I mean, I wouldn't mind having a motorcycle as my little toy.
Little toy.
What about you?
I would say top 3 garage. It's got to be a G-Wagon always has to be part of it. But I think if I had to only pick one, it'd be either the 4x4 square or the lawn delay. We'll drop a photo on screen.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's basically like a extended drop top G, and it's about the same wheelbase as the 6x6, like a 6-wheel G.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And secondary car, also Mercedes. I'd have to get an SLS, filling out the Mercedes garage, and probably I gotta get an old man car, so maybe a Phantom.
Oh, this guy, you really go. You know what? You know what? Forget it. I scratch it. I'm going Wolf of Wall Street, Countach, Lamborghini Countach. Okay, throw that on there. I want that.
Countach is one of those cars where
I want a Lego
you
car.
shouldn't meet your heroes. That car's ass. Like in person. Like I swear, the ownership of one of those cars, it's like the guys that like dominatrix, right? They love to be beat down and disappointed and attacked when they don't expect it, you know, least expected. And I think owning one of cars like that, you know, 80s supercars, they're beautiful on a poster, they're beautiful in someone else's garage. If we had one here, it'd be stunning. But if you own it yourself, I think you'd hate it.
I'm learning a lot about cars right now. So awesome. Well, thank you for watching our second episode. Right?
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.